Man, there's a lot of shit I've been wanting to talk about all week. We didn't have time over but um,
What? What do you want to talk about?
like there's been a lot of shit. I mean, the AOC and Ilhan have been going off on a lot of shit this week. The whole Biden
Yeah,
thing. They
that's not
there was a
good.
bunch of what do you call it, accidental left wing shit too.
Yeah. Um, that's not good.
What's up? What's not good?
Um, the fact that they're um the fact that they're fighting so vocally, so
You
like
think
visibly, forcibly.
you mean they think they see like some kind of writing on the wall or some
No, yeah. I
or
think if they
or
had,
like disaster ahead?
yeah, I think if they were getting more positive feedback from the transition team and Biden's people,
They wouldn't have
they would be
been
taking it easy.
right. They
Yeah,
wouldn't be as vocal. That makes
exactly.
sense.
So the fact that they're going so hard makes me think they are like
They're
pissed
worried
off about
about
what they're hearing.
yeah. I mean, well, from what we're gathering, other than I mean, initially they released the chief of staff's name, and then they seemed like they were okay with that. But then afterwards, I guess more names have been coming out, and they're not seeming too happy about that. I mean, AOC started talking about Biden. She did that. She did that thing. She did that thing again that I tell you about, where
What?
she says, "Oh, I believe that Biden's administration is honorable and all this other kind of crap," but then at the same time says, "So I expect them to go ahead and stick to their climate policy."
Yeah, that's what she said. That's what I said all along. That's what I've been saying about people were shitting on Bernie for saying, "Oh, the most progressive president since FDR." And
Right.
I was like, "No, that's actually a good thing that he keeps repeating that
Yeah.
because he's trying to act like that's the plan. Like
Right.
he's trying to act like the task force, everything they came up with at the task force is
What
the plan,
they're
like
gonna
that's
plan
the
to stick to.
agenda." Yeah, like I think as he should act like the agreement that they made, that there's no reason in the world that Biden,
Right.
he's a man of his word. Why would he ever renege on the deal?
Right. Let's
Like,
see. What we got over here, PJ. AOC has to worry about potentially being drawn out of a district because the 2020 census is all fucked up, and that seat is targeted for its bad geographics being split in the middle and the east. Look, if they try to go and write out of her seat, she'll beat somebody else.
yeah,
And she'll
she'll
take
take
some.
somebody else's
Go out.
seat.
If they try to draw her into any of those people, remember, a lot of people forget this. When she first was elected, she actually got elected twice in a separate district. She won as a write-in, and she had to turn it down.
Really?
Yeah, and
I
people
don't
don't
remember
remember this,
that.
but yeah, that was a whole thing. They wrote her in.
Mm, wrote her in enough to
Yeah,
defeat the
there was something.
incumbent?
Yeah, it was something like that. It was a situation like that where she was popular enough to at least to win in that other district. I think is what it ended up
I'm gonna
being.
need to see your sourcing
Yeah,
here. Let
wait.
me see.
This was from a while back. So I might have my
AOC
info a little
write-in
bit fuzzy, but it was something close like that.
victory. Wins another primary, huh?
Yeah, she got written in enough to win, or at least close to winning, some shit
As a
like that.
write-in candidate in a district
Yeah,
she
or
wasn't running
she
in.
wasn't in a district, so she wasn't
Oh,
eligible.
but she's only popular in her district, right?
Yeah, yeah, but like we went through that whole ranking just to go ahead to anybody thinking that she's not popular outside of her district. She's number 11 behind. How did you lay it out, bro? Three presidents, four presidential candidates, and two civil rights icons.
Yeah. She was basically um, Jimmy Carter,
Jimmy
Obama,
Jimmy Carter, Obama, Bernie.
and she was number 4, right?
And that was among the millennials. Among
Oh,
millennials, yeah, she was number 4 among millennials behind Carter, Bernie, and Obama. So look, if these centrists really want to write her out of a district and give up another seat, oh, then by all means, at this point, I don't think she'd probably beat Schumer in a statewide race. maybe by 2024 she could probably
You
do
don't
that.
think she would?
I don't think she'd beat Schumer in a statewide race right now. I think maybe 2 more years she could probably do it. Maybe 4 for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, look,
I think
they could pull a gerrymander move and split her power in the current district by absorbing them into a more Joe Crowley type district. But but this is, I mean, that was a Joe Crowley type district, and then what she did was she expanded what she beat Crowley at, and she just gained more popularity over the last year. So that's their own funeral if they want to go ahead and do it. But let me run that clip though from today for uh for AOC over here. Let's see if we can do this.
posting that article to our sub.
Worked with the Biden administration to secure commitment on a $2 trillion climate plan. $2 trillion. But we're not going to stop there. We're not going to stop with a piece of paper. That's not what's going to happen. We're not going to forget about that agreement for the sake of an election, are we? No. What we're going to do is that we're going to organize and demand that this administration, which I believe is decent and kind and honorable, keep their promise. So that's what our next move is to make sure that the Biden administration keeps its promise. Kept its promise to young people, kept its promise to the movement for Black Lives, kept its promise to communities and working class people across the United States of America. That's our message today, to keep your promise. And so we know that we don't just make that demand and walk away. We have to organize for it. We have to bring the heat for it, because there's a whole lot of people that tried to just shove a bunch of money before this election to try to buy their seat at the table. But we organized for ours, and we're not easily going to let that go. So our demand here is to make sure that we keep this promise.
Yeah, I'm
that we
starting to think Joe Rogan's just kind of stating the obvious now with this prediction.
Unprecedented $2 trillion plan that's not just about money, but also it's one of the first presidential plans to honor the treaty rights of Native people. They're one of the first rights to make sure that we have environmental justice front and center. So that we make sure that we make up for redlining, that we make up for Flint, that we make up for Baltimore, that we make up for lead in the pipes across this country. So that's what this movement is all about. I want to thank you. And I don't want anybody here to think that we're not winning. Because let me tell you something, we're winning. It's working. It's happening. And we are going to secure a future. We're going to secure the basic tenets of a Green New Deal, a multi-trillion-dollar jobs program for climate, for environmental, racial, gender, and class justice. That's what the Green New Deal is, and we will stick to that plan. So thank you all so very much.
Yeah, bro.
What was this from?
This was from us. What was it? An environmental. What was it called? Can I see from where it was from? Well, I mean, just saw it was reposted from Now This, but yeah. But you see what she did, though, is she did. I mean, it's what I talked about. You know, she did that thing where she says she did like the mama bear thing where she says, "Oh yeah, Nancy Pelosi's mama bear," then goes ahead and endorses against the incumbent that Pelosi Pelosi endorsed. You know what I mean? Like it's a real effective tactic to go ahead and say, yeah, Biden, your administration is good and honorable. So then that means that you should stick to these climate policies that you proposed, and you got the sunrise movement behind you by making these promises. So that means you should stick to this stuff. You know, it puts them in a spot that they have to kind of that politically it puts pressure on them to follow through on their word. I don't know how well it's gonna end up working out, but it kind of plays both sides effectively. You know, which is what we want her to do. You know, we want her to be the politician for our agenda, right? So
Yeah.